Republican North Texas Congressman Craig Goldman of Fort Worth, thank you so much and welcome back to Eye on Politics.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks for having me.
You bet. So this week, former Fort Worth mayor, longtime Congresswoman Kay Granger passed away. And I'm wondering, how would you describe her and what were your thoughts?
Well, it's a sad day for Tarrant County, Parker County. She represented Wise County for a number of years. So it's a sad time for our counties. It's a sad time for our city of Fort Worth, where she was mayor. Sad for our state of Texas, and certainly sad for our nation, because she served in all those uh, districts and state and our nation. She was a woman of service, and she gave almost devoted her entire life to public service. And so now we reflect on her time of service, and we certainly, appreciate and thank her and her family for those many, many decades of service that she gave to this community.
And what do you think her lasting legacy is going to be?
Well, look, you've seen the accolades come in far and wide, not only locally, but nationally. Certainly, our speaker highly admired her. She set the bar. She was the first Republican mayor of Fort Worth. She's the first Republican woman ever to be elected Congress from Texas. First Republican woman ever to serve as appropriations chair in the U.S. House. So barrier after barrier after barrier that was up, she knocked down. And so I think that's one of her legacies is don't tell Kay Granger she couldn't do anything, because if you told her she couldn't do it, she was going to do it. And she did.
And getting to be a chair of a House Appropriations Committee, which is one of the most powerful in Congress, not so easy.
Now that I've been there and see how the sausage is made, if you will, extremely difficult to become not only the chair of appropriations, but any chair. First, it starts with respect. You have to have the respect of leadership, but also respect of your fellow colleagues. And so, her spending all those years working her way up the Appropriations Committee as subcommittee chair, the defense chair that was so important to the city of Fort Worth in this area, with the building of the F-16 and then getting the F-35, so important for her to have that, and then serving as chair of appropriations again. Incredible respect from our colleagues to get to that level.
So you succeeded her. You represent her old district, District 12.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, how do your priorities align with what hers were?
Well, first and foremost, my district. I'm going to fight for anything in my district. First and foremost, she did the same thing. Like I said, when the contract was out for the F-35, she fought hard as she could to make sure that Fort Worth got that contract, that Lockheed Martin got that contract. Since that time, her as serving as a probes chair, she made sure that the funding was there to continue to build the F-35, as I do. So many jobs in our district are centered around not only just building directly the F-35, but the indirect jobs that are associated not only with Lockheed Martin and the F-35 being built, but the entire base over there. So I certainly am following in her footsteps and fighting to make sure that funding is still there.
When you were running for her seat and after you won, I mean, at some point, did you speak with her and did she give you any advice that you took to heart?
Yeah, I met with her a number of times during the campaign and then certainly after the campaign. I certainly remember I was up there for orientation and went and sat with her. And it was a great conversation we had. And her final question to me was, "What can I do for you?" And I thought for a second and I said, "You know what? Who are your good friends? Who should I seek advice from? Who have been great friends of yours, have counsel to you?" And she gave me a list of names, and I went and met with every single one of those people. And I'm telling you, Republicans and Democrats alike who respected her, that's the number one word I would use to describe her. She was tough. There's no question. You ask anybody if she was tough. Yeah, she was tough, but she was fair. And everybody, when you come into Congress and when I came to the State House, or you ask new people, "Hey, whose seat did you fill?" And whenever I said it was Kay Granger's, their eyes lit up and their mouths dropped. I'm like, "Oh man, you have big shoes to fill." So that's just it. All Republican and Democrat alike. She was so well respected.
And was there any, just on a personal level, with her that she was able to give you advice with regards to either getting legislation passed or, speaking with the community, establishing constituent services, et cetera.
Well, again, she was always about Fort Worth and this county and Tarrant County and Parker County. And like I said, the time that she represented Wise County, she was always about the district first. And I think that's a great takeaway and a great lesson learned is, yeah, you may get caught up inside the Beltway and inside Washington, D.C., but it's one of the very first things I told my staff. We don't matter unless we take care of the people back at the district. So don't get DC centric in your mind. We represent the people of now Tarrant County and Parker County. And so we have to focus on that first and foremost. And she never forgot that in all of her years, almost 3 decades of service. She never forgot that Fort Worth was home, that Tarrant County was home, and she represented Tarrant and Parker and Wise. She never forgot who she represented, and that was a good takeaway and a great lesson to learn.
All right, Congressman Craig Goldman, we will leave it there. We will have you back on to discuss the issues of the day. Thank you so much. We
I look
appreciate
forward
it.
to it. Thanks, Jack. Thanks for your time.
You bet.